A week before the wedding, my fiancé Kendrick told me he would first marry his first love, Leonore Griffin, before he could marry me. He said Leonore's mother had passed away and left a will asking them to marry. Leonore's mother always hoped she would marry a good man. I'm just fulfilling her last wish. Don't overthink it. But the company had already decided to launch the TrueLove Collection jewelry project on the day of our supposed wedding. He impatiently said, "That's only about a few $1 billion. Can it compare to the promise I made to Leonore's mother? If you really want that few billions of dollars, go find someone else to marry." Faced with his cold words, I didn't hesitate anymore. I immediately dialed my brother. "Terrence, I need a new groom." My brother, Terrence Benson, couldn't believe his ears. "You're calling off the wedding?" "No, Kendrick is marrying someone else." I forced a bitter smile. To be with Kendrick, I had worked so hard, facing countless challenges from my family just to get their approval for our relationship. Moreover, I decided to launch the TrueLove Collection jewelry line on our wedding day. But now, it was all in vain. Terrence was silent for a long time before saying, "Well, that only leaves Phelps. His family's been pushing him hard, and he's been looking for a marriage partner." I furrowed my brows. Phelps Cullen was my arch-nemesis. When I got engaged, he'd cursed that I wouldn't get married, and now his words seemed to be coming true. Time was tight. I could only agree. Then it's him. Ask him what he thinks. If it doesn't work, I'll figure something out. Terrence quickly blurted, "No need to ask. He'll definitely agree." Why? Before I could ask further, a group of people surrounded me. "You must be Kendrick's fiancé. You're so beautiful. You're here waiting for Kendrick to finish work? He'll be down soon. You two are so in love." I gripped the steering wheel, lowering my gaze to hide the self-mockery in my eyes. Kendrick had introduced me to his colleagues and friends long ago. To everyone, we were the perfect couple. But no one would expect that he was about to marry someone else. After bidding them goodbye, Kendrick got into the car and handed me a necklace. "This is from Leonore. Yesterday at the funeral, you made her uncomfortable, so you should apologize when you have a chance." The necklace was clearly a freebie that came with a genuine purchase. I had seen the purchase record of the real one in Kendrick's shopping record a few days ago. I quietly said, "I don't want it." Kendrick frowned. "What's your problem now? You were the one who stormed into the funeral and said I wasn't her fiancé, embarrassing her. She didn't even argue with you and still thought of giving you a gift. Are you really going to act like this?" I realized then that the man who once protected me no longer existed. Now, he cherished someone else. Kendrick rolled down the window in frustration, letting the wind blow. After a while, seeing that I wasn't trying to appease him, he said, "Forget it. I'll accompany you to try on wedding dresses today, and I won't hold it against you." This was the first time he'd backed down this year. At the bridal shop, the staff greeted us. "Mr. Collins, Ms. Benson, the 20 custom wedding dresses and suits you ordered are ready." But Kendrick wasn't focused on the clothes. He was staring at his phone, looking rather anxious. Noticing my gaze, he quickly put the phone away and looked at me apologetically. "Alicia, something's come up with Leonore. I need to leave right away. You go try on the dress. Just pick a suit for me. I trust your taste." With that, he rushed out and left me alone. The staff hurried over and tentatively asked, "Ms. Benson, would you like to choose the suit yourself?" I looked away and nodded. I would choose a suit, but it would not be for Kendrick. After all, my groom had changed. After picking up my wedding dress, I headed home, thinking Kendrick would be gone all night. But to my surprise, he returned before dinner. He walked up to me, holding a takeout box. "I made a special trip to get you Sugarland Sweetery snack." I glanced at the box of donuts. There were 3 less than usual, and one of them had a bite mark on it, clearly taken by someone. Half an hour ago, I had seen Leonore's post on Twitter. The picture in her post was of the donut I held in my hand. The caption read, "My husband buys me a late-night snack. He's such a trooper. I love him." I set down my fork with a bitter smile, suddenly losing my appetite. "I don't want it. Throw it away." Kendrick shot me a displeased look but held back from reacting. He sat down beside me and started complaining. "You don't know how pitiful Leonore is today. My parents went to her house and yelled at her, saying her family had no money and couldn't even throw a decent wedding. She was so upset she cried. Leonore just returned to the country and doesn't have much money. I want to give the money you gave me over to her. His shameless words made me feel sick. I looked at him sarcastically. So now I'm supposed to organize your wife's wedding? In the past, I cared about Kendrick so much that I would have done anything for him. But now, his actions had opened my eyes. Looking back, it seemed that everything Kendrick had done since Leonore returned was for her. He had forgotten that I was the one who was supposed to spend a lifetime with him. My response angered Kendrick. What do you mean by that? Do you want to refuse me? You better think carefully. Leonore is my best friend, and you better make her happy. If not, I won't marry you. With that, he slammed the door and left. I was frustrated and went downstairs for a run in the park. I had just finished one lap when I received a call from Phelps. Thinking of Phelps, who always had a stern expression, I hesitated for a moment but still answered. Once you agree to this marriage, you belong to me. If you try to run, I'll tie you up and bring you back. Phelps' first words were anything but pleasant. I stayed silent, and he continued, send me your ID card first and let's get the certificate. I'm afraid you'll back out. I suddenly felt something was off. 1,000 scenarios of how he might use our marriage to torment me flashed through my mind. But at this point, I had no other choice. I sighed and said, see you at the wedding, Mr. Cullen. As soon as I finished speaking, Kendrick appeared behind me. You're inviting Phelps to our wedding? I won't allow it. He stared at me, his eyes intense. Alicia, haven't I told you not to associate with Phelps? He has ulterior motives. If you insist on inviting him to our wedding, I'll fall out with you. Before I could say anything, he had already made his threat.